There is a ship in a harbor in ancient Athens. It belongs to Theseus, the hero, the man who sailed into darkness and came back alive. The Athenians love this ship. They preserve it. They maintain it. They keep it docked as a monument to the man who saved them. But ships are made of wood, and wood doesn't last forever, so when a plank begins to rot, they replace it. One plank. That's all. The ship is still the ship, obviously, but then another plank rots, and they replace that one too, and then a beam, and then a sail, and then the mast, and slowly, over years and decades, every single part of the original ship is replaced, every plank, every nail, every rope and board and fixture, until one day, a man walks down to the harbor, looks at the ship, and asks a question so simple it sounds stupid. Is that still the same ship? The Athenians said yes. Of course it is. It never left. It's the ship of Theseus. Everyone knows that. But a philosopher had been watching rivers his whole life, and he said something nobody wanted to hear. You cannot step into the same river twice, because by the time you lift your foot and put it back down, the water has moved. What you're stepping into now is new water, a new river wearing the same name. And then someone made it worse. Someone asked the follow-up question, the one that turns a riddle into a crisis. What if someone collected all the original planks, every rotted piece, every replaced board, and slowly, quietly built a second ship from all the original parts? Now, which one is the ship of Theseus, the one that never left the harbor, or the one built from everything it used to be? The philosophers never agreed. They're still not agreeing 2,000 years later, because the question sounds like it's about a ship, but it was never about a ship. It's about you. Think about who you were at 15, the things you believed, the music that felt like it was written specifically for you, the version of the future you were absolutely certain was coming. Now think about who you are today. How many of those beliefs survived? How much of what felt like you then feels like you now? Because here is the uncomfortable biology underneath the philosophy. Your body replaces most of its cells every 7 to 10 years. The neurons rewire, the memories shift, the values evolve. The things that once defined you quietly become things you used to be into. So ask the question seriously. Are you still the same person? Most people say yes, instinctively, without thinking. Of course I'm the same person. I remember being 15. The continuity of memory feels like proof. Like the harbor, like the ship that never left. But memory is not a recording. It's a reconstruction. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds it slightly differently, colors it with who you are now, edits it through everything that happened after. The memory you have of being 15 is not what actually happened. It's a story you've been quietly rewriting ever since. The planks have been replaced. You just didn't notice because you kept the same name. And here is where it gets personal, because most people are not bothered by the ship of Theseus as a thought experiment. They are bothered by it as a lived experience. They just don't call it that. They call it, I don't know who I am anymore, or I feel like a completely different person than I used to be, or the quieter version. The one people say at 2 a.m. when nobody's listening. I'm not sure the person I'm becoming is someone I recognize. There is a specific kind of grief that nobody talks about. Not grief for a person, not grief for a relationship, grief for a version of yourself that no longer exists. The you that had more certainty, more energy, more of whatever it was that made getting out of bed feel automatic. The you before the thing happened, before the loss, before life got complicated enough that simplicity felt like a different country. People carry this grief silently because you can't attend a funeral for a previous version of yourself. You can't explain to someone that you miss who you were before you knew what you know now. It sounds ungrateful. It sounds confused. So instead, you carry it, like a plank from the old ship, kept in a warehouse somewhere. Proof that something existed that no longer does. But here's the other side. The side that changes everything if you let it land. What if changing completely is not a loss? What if the ship that replaced every plank is not a lesser ship? What if it's just a ship that survived long enough to need rebuilding? Because the alternative is not staying the same. The alternative is rotting in the harbor, preserved, unchanged, and completely unable to sail. The people who frighten us most are the ones who never change. The ones who are exactly who they were at 22. Same beliefs, same reactions, same fears wearing slightly older faces. We don't call them authentic. We call them stuck. Because somewhere, we already know the truth. Staying the same is not integrity. It is just the refusal to let the old planks go. So here is the real question the philosophers should have asked. Not which ship is the true ship, but what is a ship for? It's not for sitting in a harbor looking like it used to. It's for sailing, and you cannot sail on a ship that refuses to be repaired. So stop mourning the old planks. They did their job. They kept you afloat long enough to get here, and here is not a bad place to be, even if it looks nothing like where you started. Even if you barely recognize the harbor you left behind, you're still sailing, and that means the ship is still the ship.